Let's learn 3 adverbs that are related to time. This is going to be a little tricky because using time adverbs in Spanish involves a bit of nuance. In English, the most common time adverb is now. It may seem like a simple word, but there are actually 2 ways to translate it into Spanish. A very simple way to translate now is ahora, spelled A-H-O-R-A, with the H silent. Ahora. This word is a very straightforward way to emphasize the present moment, meaning now or right now. For example, are they here right now? Might be ¿Están aquí ahora? But in English, when you say, are they here now? You might be saying one of 2 things. You might be asking about the general present moment, almost like asking, are they currently here? But you also might be asking if they have just arrived, almost like asking, are they here yet? In that case, you're more likely to use the most common time adverb in Spanish, which is ya. The word ya can mean now. But when it does, it's in a very specific sense. It tends to indicate that something has recently changed. So here's an example. Now they're here. Ya están aquí. So what ya indicates here is that something is different. Now they're here. Now here's a similar example, but with an opposite meaning. Ya no están aquí. This could be translated as now they're not here. But in English, we'd be more likely to say something like, they're not here anymore. Once again, the indication is that something has recently changed. If you instead say, ahora no están aquí, the emphasis is simply on the fact that they're not here right now. Maybe we're expecting them later, maybe they were here earlier, but that's not important. All that matters for ahora is the present moment. But the word ya, on the other hand, points at the present moment as contrasted with anything right before it. Here's another example of using ya to emphasize that something has changed. She's not at home anymore.
Ella ya no está en casa.
Let's look at how this sentence is structured in Spanish. When you encounter the word anymore, this is pretty straightforwardly going to use ya. But specifically, it's going to use ya right before no, toward the beginning of the sentence. You don't normally use it at the end of the sentence like we do in English. Try it yourself with this example. But now you're here.
Pero ya estás aquí.
How about this one? We're not doing it anymore.
Ya no lo estamos haciendo.
Note that if there's a named subject, the word ya will go after the subject, but before the verb, just like the word no. For example, the girls aren't here anymore.
Las chicas ya no están aquí.
Now, as a side note, sometimes Spanish resources teach that ya means already. And yes, most of the time that already is used in English, you'll translate it as the word ya in Spanish. But the fact is that ya is used in many, many other ways, and already accounts for a very small fraction of the uses of this word. Trying to oversimplify that ya and already mean the same thing can often lead to miscommunications. For example, the English word already almost always emphasizes that something has happened earlier than expected. The Spanish word ya can mean that, but rarely. So there's really no simple way to translate these words between languages. In summary, it's helpful to think of ya as meaning anymore, or as a specific moment in time, the present, with the subtlety that something has changed recently. But there are also a lot of specific nuances for how to use this word, including many idioms and context-specific situations where you should or shouldn't use it. Meanwhile, the word ahora means now, as in right now, emphasizing the current state of things, whether or not something has changed. Our last time adverb is nunca, which means never. Note that nunca often uses double negatives, and sometimes it's used where we would actually say ever, but in a negative way. For example, she isn't ever at home is ella no está en casa nunca. Let's practice using these new adverbs. The man isn't ever here. El hombre no está aquí nunca. All of us are here now.
Todos estamos aquí ahora.
He's not my friend anymore.
Él ya no es mi amigo.
In the next one, everyone is feminine. They were friends, but they're not anymore.
Eran amigas, pero ya no lo son.
We are not doing it right now.
No lo estamos haciendo ahora.
Actually, there's never anyone here. En verdad, nunca hay nadie aquí.